Hey everybody, welcome to another IGL University video as I'm starting to dub these. Today we're going to be talking about CT protocols and how to define them and set them up and utilize them in a team environment. So first we want to talk about what defines a CT protocol. So a CT protocol is basically all of the actions you take in reaction to something the T side does. So I come from a programming background in schooling, and I like to think of them as a if-then statement, right? Or if-else, so to speak. So basically, if X happens, we do Y, and when Y happens, then they should do X, and then we'll do Y based off of that. So we'll kind of get into it and talk about it a little bit more in depth, so you kind of get what I'm saying. But basically, it's all of our reactions to the stuff the T side does, right? So we're on Mirage here, and one of the I'm flying around. One of the typical things that happens. Let me grab some utility here. On a T side default, is they will smoke window, right? So let's say I'm opping here, I'm smoked off now. They'll probably throw a better window smoke than me just tossing one down on the floor, right? So like my opper now has a couple of options, but I want to be able to support him from a team environment. So we need to rotate effectively to be able to cover all of the holes that the smoke might create, right? So if they smoke window, then obviously my window guy can't fight top mid, and if my con guy chooses to fight it, then he will be pretty alone. So one of the things we want to do is rotate around the smokes to be able to cover all of the things that could be open, and be effective in that aspect. So what my team does, and this is kind of a per preference or what you decide are the strong points, or the holes, again I'll use the word holes, that we need covered, right? So let's say we broke vents to get in here, right? So if they smoke window, we know that they can get into window, so we want to back our opper out to cover the cross towards jungle, right? That way he can't go into jungle if he gets in the window, right? So let's say for the sake of simplicity, we're playing a 2-1-2 setup. We got our opper in mid, we got a guy up cat, we got a guy a B anchor, we got a anchor, and we got a con guy, right? So if my con guy's original plan was to fight mid, but a window smoke goes down, we don't want to fight this alone. So you want to back him off to fighting top con and being able to take this fight, right? Being able to take this without getting peeked from under, getting peeked from top mid. He's staying alive and making sure he is still an asset to his team, right? Now the cat guy, same thing goes here, right? If you're fighting here without your support from window and your support from con, you know, you can get killed chair, maybe they run up cat and they kill you. So what we want to do here, if the window smoke goes down, we want to smoke this to be able to get in ladder, and then we can hold the jump up, right? If they get in the smoke, and then we're in position to see them when that smoke fades, anything like that. And we're also still being able to fight cat if they decide to come up cat. So our ladder guy, or our cat guy, is moving up to ladder. Our con guy is backing out to the top of con, and our window guy is playing murder hole. So now we have all of our stuff covered, right? We have window covered if they want to come window to jungle. We have ladder covered if they're still playing on the bench once the smoke fades. We can still cover cat, and top con can help fight cat should they go up cat, right? At the same time, none of them have been singled out. They're all able to support each other still with utility. The con guy can molly the bottom of con and just play like this, right? And he's not showing to palace. Alright, A guy has backed it out. Instead of playing triple, he's backed it out, so he can still support from both sides. You know, he's holding a ramp, he's holding palace, making sure his con guy doesn't get isolated. So those little rotations are part of your protocol, and you set them up ahead of time, right? So let's talk about another one. And this one is a little more firefight based, right? So let's say we're still playing, you know, we're still playing our regular 2-1-2, and let's say they throw a couple flashes over A, right? And we think they're coming out fast A. So now there's a couple of things you can do here, right? If you're playing the stairs, if you're like con guy is like able to get here, one of the things you don't want to happen is you don't want them to take this line, right? We don't want them to have a shallow line, because we want our stairs guy to be able to take these fights. So if they're running up underneath him, they can run, you know, run through the smoke. If there's a, you know, they throw a smoke, maybe throw like this, right? We don't want them to be able to come shallow here, come through this smoke, whatever, be able to play and sandwich any of that. So as the A guy, as your A anchor, one of your options you can do as a protocol is you can molly this, right? Now they can't run short. They can't run shallow up under the stairs. Their more optimal route is going to be into the site. Now, if you get smoked off, that's a different story, obviously. But if you throw that Molotov down, you're narrowing down where they can be, right? Then your cat guy can throw a flash over the con towards bench. And you can come out the bench smoke as the chair guy, any of those things. But we don't want them to come shallow. We want to push them into the site. So that first Molotov coming down from here, so the flashes come out over top ramp. We throw our Molotov down. Oh, don't hit triple when you do it. Throw our Molotov down so that they have to cross into the site. Then you can play retake on this angle, and they're running into the site. Your stairs guy can help you fight that because they had to go deep into the site as opposed to shallow stairs. And we're denying this play, right? We're denying this. So you want to deny that. We don't want them to get to bench. We don't want them to get anywhere up here because these are harder angles for us to deal with coming back into the bomb site. Does that kind of make sense? So let's talk some bead protocols here. Some of the things we can do, right? So let's say you're jump spotting, right? You got a guy up cat, you jump spotting, you see one, right? You can drop a molly there and then try to back out, play this, right? Those sort of things. And a lot of these are, you know, individual plays that your players probably know from pugging or whatever, but being able to work on them as a team so that your team knows exactly what you're going to do and be able to support you that way. So let's say you jump spot one, right? Your cat guy could go off your jump spot call. You jump spot, right? You see one. Your cat guy can throw this flash and then help support the site. Like he can get here, he can get into the site while you back up and keep you from getting killed on this rotate out. That little flashbang is going to let you slip out from the van. I mean, you might want to play here, but a lot of times this guy only gets one and then he gets traded out. So we want to fall back and have a more favorable position, right? We want to maybe play back pillar in the site, any of those things. So, you know, maybe you dish your molly. So we jump spot on, we see, okay, the guy coming, I dish my molly halfway down, I'm backing out, cat guy throws the flash to let me back out, so I'm backed out this way, right? Maybe we drop this smoke so that the van guys can't fight cat guy. You know, maybe we do a couple of those things. Maybe the cat guy throws a molly van so that when they get out, they have to immediately leave van, that sort of thing. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do, and I'm not going to tell you what the optimal one is, but we want to set up protocols so your site guys know how to play together with utility, if that kind of makes sense. So we want to give our guys advantageous positions and duels, and that's what the utility is for, and that's kind of how protocols work. I think that about covers it there. It's just all about utilizing your utility to give yourself optimal bomb fights and push the T's in the direction you want them to be. So we're not taking shallow fights, we're not taking difficult fights, we're isolating players off on the execute, that sort of thing. And it's all about counter utility, right? So let's say I got that down, got my molly down, the cat guy flashed, the abs guys, we slowed them down a little bit. I made it back to this pillar, right? I can throw a flash like this that's just high in general. I know where it is, my teammate knows where it is, and then that kind of lets me maneuver around some of the guys that might be blind for that second to find some kills. So using counter utility in your protocols is huge. So now let's talk a pistol one real quick, right? Let's say we're playing a 2-1-2 in our pistol round, and we get a jump spot call B, right? One of the things that works out really well in pugs, if you want to use it in pugs, but it's had some success for us in pistol rounds, is if we get the call, it's a hard B. Your con guy, he might be floating this to you know, help the window guy fight mid early on. If the B call comes out and the utility comes out on B, he can push this right away as part of his protocol to be able to clear the backside here, right? And your cat guy pushed up to the site, so now you have a 3v whatever coming out of the apps, and this guy's on quick flank to stop bomb plan on default, right? You can kill that, and that's part of the protocol, is that, you know, you maybe have lined up. Maybe if the hard B call comes to pistol round, we push the apps, right? And just little things to help your players be more prepared for the things that come out in rounds. And as an IGL, that's part of your job, is to prepare your team for any situation. So I think that about covers the protocols. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments or tweet at me on Twitter. At drceltic is my handle on Twitter, and I will answer as many questions as I can. I hope this episode was a little, I mean, it was more theory than anything, but I hope it kind of helps you get on your path to setting good protocols for your team. Like I said, a lot of protocols are based on how your players like to react to things, but keeping things consistent in the way you do react to things makes it easier for your team to combat any situation. All right, good luck in the server this week. If you're playing ESEA at any level, good luck in your matches this week, and we'll see you next time on IGL University.